Yeah, if you want to mute everyone, Morgan, we'll get started.
You got it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, folks, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Zoom. Broker update call. Appreciate y'all being here early. Thanks for recording, team. Appreciate y'all being here early. What is it, 7-Eleven? Yeah, 7-Eleven 25. This content is going to be called Be Neighborly, courtesy of Morgan this morning. But before we get into that, want to give some broker updates. If this is your first broker call, welcome. We do these every week. This is an opportunity to give updates. We also put those in your back office. We also put them out in an email once a week on Mondays. So please don't delete our Funder Fuel. It's called Funder's Fuel. It comes out every Monday. And it's got some pro tips, it's got some broker updates, and it's also got any news that you need to know and any calendar of events. So that broker update goes out every Monday. It's called Funders Fuel. Subject line. In addition to that, we have our back office where we put updates, and then we give some on our call here. And this becomes a community event. Come out early, get to know some people, share some stories, but it also is an opportunity for us to give a little tip for the week, if appropriate. But it's primarily to take your questions. When you're done, it's primarily to have some dialogue, some live dialogue afterward. We do that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we ask you to bring your questions to that so that you have the inner circle. Basically, you're on the inner circle. You're a broker. If you have a question for the leadership on Monday or the business funding on Wednesday, bring them to the call and talk to people. How do you overcome this, or how do you overcome this, or why would someone get declined for this or that, or if something wasn't clear. That's why we do these calls live rather than just sending out recordings. We're not just broadcasting. We want to receive as well and communicate. So that's why we're here. So first, before I'm gonna turn this over for some broker updates to Tyler, who's going to be going over some LMS stuff and also our print material stuff. But before I do that, I just want to congratulate you if this is your first call. And becoming a broker with us it can be a trip into a beautiful financial lifestyle and a beautiful impact making. When you consider the amount of businesses, if you're doing $2 million a year in sales, you're in the top 2% businesses in America. You don't have to be doing 100 million to be a big. I mean, most businesses that we're supporting are in the top 5% businesses in America, yet they're breaking even or losing money. It's a small percentage who do real well in business. Um, and we can help them. And so we're going to talk about different ways of doing that as we end. But I just want to applaud you because millions of businesses need what we offer. And you have banks, and then you have Bank Breezy. And our funding platform is the next best thing if they can't get it at their bank. And we just need to get beyond the noise so they can hear that and understand that and see who we are and how we're different. And then they'll use us rather than the text they get or the telemarketing call they get. They'll use us. But before we go into that any further, I just want to congratulate you for our first broker updates. I want to bring on Tyler, who all of you know. Not only does he work in the corporate team, but he's helped develop a lot of the systems we use. And so he's going to update us on the LMS and on some print materials. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey everybody, it's exciting stuff going on in the background. I'll start with the print shop. So as some of you guys know, or everybody should know, we have a currently we're using the Vistaprint Pro Shop for our printing materials. We're actually pivoting. We've got a new print supplier, and it's actually really great. They're right down the road from us. So we're actually working with them to develop a new print site. It's similar to how the Vistaprint shop was set up, but it's going to be better. There's going to be QR codes automatically generated. That's going to show you the preview right away, and it's coming soon. I've already tested the site. They've already got the site done. We're just waiting for the rest of our designs to be uploaded and templated. So it's coming soon, as well as they've been very responsive and they're a lot better service for you guys. So that's kind of the updates on the print side. In terms of the LMS, there's a lot of cool stuff. So as some of you guys may know, or maybe not, we launched our LMS beta 2 days ago, we've done 2 batches of enrolls. We've got a large quantity of brokers enrolled right now. We're continually, enrolling more. We've already got a few brokers who have already certified, so the certification is going good. We've only been getting positive feedback, so it's really exciting seeing everybody get through it. Um, I'll be putting the link in the chat for anybody else that wants to sign up for the beta. Right now, it's limited to just the broker certification because we really want to test like the agent flow, like the back end's flow for the agents, the login process, the course completion, as well as tying it in with your back office. We basically just been testing all the back end stuff. The front end stuff is just the course for right now. There's going to be more content added later, but for now, we're just focusing on the certification training. But that's the main update. I'll put that link if you're interested in signing up for the beta in the chat. I know we sent out an email a couple weeks ago. There was a little glitch with how we were tracking the stuff. So if you haven't gotten an invite and you want to get invited, I'll be sending another batch in today to the system. I got to manually add them because I got to verify the agent IDs and there's some back end stuff that'll be done automatically once it's fully live. But I'll be putting that link in the chat if you want to sign up for the beta. But that's the main updates I got on the printer and the LMS.
All right. And I would just ask Tyler, so the pro shop, by the way, we don't make money on print, guys. We're not in the print business. We pass through. But the pro shop was we thought it'd be a great tool for us, and they have been great. But anytime we make a change, it takes a long time to get it updated, right? So
Yeah.
this local printer is going to be, because they're local, they'll be faster on modifications. You never have to use our printer, but we do it as a convenience. And they've done this for other broker agencies, nationwide agencies. They just happen to be within 3 miles of my home too. So it helps that my wife has been printing there for years. We didn't know they supported national brokerages, so it worked out really good. Tyler's building a great relationship with them. We think it'll be a great long-term relationship. Um, so if there's an design idea you like, I just had talked to Ed. He had a great idea that Ed shared, and it's probably something we're going to create and put in the print shop as well. But if you have ideas, print ideas, put them in. We'll put them on our list of adding. If it's something you think you'll need, then if we're going to design it, we'd like it to be for everyone. So I would only say that you can always use the logos and print stuff in the back office, download them and print them. But the pro shop will be being shut down shortly, right? Has it already shut down, Tyler, or not yet?
Yeah, we've removed the links from the Agent Resource Center. So right now there is the Canva links for the PDFs while we're in this transition period. Just because, like you said, there's some changes, some outdated content on there that we just can't pull. So instead of ordering old stuff, we just rather pull it and have a slight, transition period.
Okay, so right now, if they want to print today, their options are download the stuff that we've got from Canva, take it to a local printer, or
Yep,
print it right from Canva,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then LMS, the link. I know some of you did click on the link we emailed out, but you weren't invited. If you weren't invited yet, who would the email come from, Tyler?
It
DAC?
would come from support, but I put it in we've put it in the chat a couple times. So if you want to there's a form, you fill it out. It basically just has you're adding your agent ID, your name, and your email. I'm going to go in, verify the info, and then get everybody uploaded. I've been doing it in batches and waves. I've done two. I'm going to do another one later today. So if there's anybody who's saying I signed up, I'm still not in, you'll be enrolled later today as long as you fill out
But
that form.
before they do that, what's the email address it comes from? Because doesn't it come from DAC training? The
For
invite,
support. Oh,
it does come from
yeah, no, it
support.
comes from support. It comes from support.
Okay, so check your spams, guys. Some of your emails from support at David Allen Capital are going into your promotions file. So that's who you're going to get the invite from for the beta test. It's not going to be a phone call. It's going to be an email from support, and it says startup. What does the first email say, Tyler?
The first email basically just says, welcome to the training beta. Basically, just kind of outlines what it is and what we're doing. Like I said, it's just the broker certification training for now, kind of what I recapped. And then the second email, you'll get two emails. The second email is basically going to be telling you to, complete your account, right? Go in, set your password, and then start your actual certification.
Yep. So you actually, guys, you actually set up a new portal. The training portal is separate from your back office. And so you have to sign in with your password, set up a password. So you'll use your agent ID, but so look for a notice, but also look for a invitation to reset your password in the LMS. And then you're live in the portal and you just go through the program. And if you get a test wrong, well, I don't want to tell you what to do if you get, we want you to see the user experience without giving any information. So that's part of the live training, right, Tyler? Okay.
Absolutely. That's really what we're testing is more of the user experience, the login process. We want to see where people can't figure things out naturally. Not as much the content on the actual training because that we can change and that's going to be constantly updating and changing over time, as just we evolve our training. So
Yep. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Then let me move into the only other broker update I have is the weekly calls that we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to be minimizing those starting in August. Okay. Um, I asked for feedback on Monday's leadership Zoom. How do you guys feel about that? The attendance isn't real high and we have a lot more people joining from the videos than we do from the live. The purpose of the live is to be able to take questions, and we're not getting questions from new brokers. I mean, new guests. So the last 2 weeks, I think we've had one question from guests. So, we've got people investing a lot of time of resources to be there live to share the information, to be able to answer questions from guests, and we're not getting questions from guests. So, we're going to reduce the number of those we're doing just because it's not efficient for the presenters and for the hosting staff. I mean, a couple hours a week that we're asking for them plus prep time and you know so we're going to be reducing that. The question is, how much do we reduce it by? So I'd love to get your feedback. If you in your chat, here's our two thoughts right now. Our thought number one is, and this is a chance you can be engaged. Our thought number one is we go to one a month, one live, where it's a special event. It's a broker overview with, at the end of it, then we have a half hour or 45-minute something, grand poobah training or launch event or recognition event or something that makes it more of an event than just the broker overview. So once a week, and we try to get hundreds and hundreds, try to get all of our brokers to show up for. So bring value, not just the broker overview, but additional stuff that's only done this once a month so that we can get that email that I sent out, the reminder email for last night's broker overview, 4,000 people opened that email. 60 were on the event. So those 4,000 brokers are just saying, yeah, I'm not interested in attending that. I don't need this event unless they got a guest. And for them, a lot of them are just using their broker overview page. They're sending people to that page rather than the live event. So if 4,000 people opened the reminder email and only 60 came to the event and probably 20 of them were brand new, that means, one out of 100 brokers are using it only of the ones who open the email. There's another how many thousands of brokers who didn't even open the email because they know it's just a reminder, right? So it's just not efficient. So what I'm wondering is once a month where we do it more of an event style and it starts with a broker overview, but it gets a lot more people out once a month. Or do we go once a week and maybe change the time up, afternoon or something, more of a business time. We did that months ago. We did them all in the afternoons. People said, can you do them in the evenings, please? Because most of our brokers are part-time. They want evenings. So we moved to evenings, and that hasn't changed the attendance. So what we're realizing is the live broker overviews just are not a demanded tool. I mean, Amazon's got a thing. They have it's called a two-way door launch. Everything they do, they want to make sure you go through the door, but you can go back out of it if it doesn't work. And they said they've never had a launch work. Every launch they've done, they've had to change. Every one. So this is not a mistake that we tried doing twice a week and the attendance isn't growing. So it's not a mistake. So we're looking at how do we course correct and trying to get your feedback because you're the ones promoting this event. We're trying to make it available for you. So I'm leaning toward once a month. Others have said, what if we go to once a week? So, but if we're going to go once a week, again, if you were the one that had to do it and you're doing the presentation and there's no questions from guests and it's the same people attending usually, and they're not necessarily bringing new guests themselves, sometimes they are. I mean, I know everyone tries to. Do you want to keep doing it? Do you want to keep presenting every week? if you find that it's not serving its purpose, and most people are joining from the partner overview video page, so or live personal conversations. So that's the dilemma, not dilemma, but that's where we're at, in the fork in the road. So please in the chat, put once a month or once a week as your suggestion. And if you have a time that you think that it should be, you know, traditionally 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 7:30 at night were the best times, but there's a lot of time zones. So, just throw your thoughts in. It doesn't mean it's going to be that way, but just your feedback helps us because we're always guessing on how our brokers are going to respond. So this gives you an opportunity to keep us from guessing. All right, just tell us. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is be neighborly, and then we'll go to your questions. Be neighborly is just a statement that Morgan said today. We are talking about our Bank Breezy. There's banking, and then there's Bank Breezy, right? We're talking about our Bank Breezy. Thank you, McGuire, for that. We're talking about Bank Breezy, our funding platform, and how really it is a cut above. If you talk to business owners about business funding, most of them are going to say, can you get my text to stop? Can you get my BS phone calls to stop? Can you get that text that says you've been approved for 100 grand to stop? Can you get the phone call into me? Hey, just leaving you a voicemail to find out if we got your offer, we got your package, we can get you 70 grand. There's BS messages. I get 5 to 10 a week. When you tell people you're in business funding, you may put yourself in the same category of the texter and the telemarketer who's BSing them. You don't want to, right? You don't want to be that. You want to make sure you get beyond that noise. There's an X that comes up. So we were talking about this on our corporate call today, that when we call and we can have the biggest hearts in the world and we can start a company to support business owners and we can be transparently honest and never sell their lead and never lie about their approval amount and never overcharge and never do anything wrong with them, but they don't know the difference between us and the guy who texted me an hour ago that says, Dave, got your $60,000 offer. That's what my text says. Got your $60,000 offer. You ready for it? Can you use it this month? That's what they do. That's what the telemarketers and these funding brokers out in our competition does. It works, or they'd stop doing it. It's lying, but they still do it. They don't have integrity, right? You want to take a shower after working with them, right? But still got to love them. Still got to love the person, not the behavior. But you're competing with it. So how do we get beyond the shield? And I will tell you, Morgan said today, I want to be neighborly. I want to talk to businesses because I want to be a good neighbor in my community, not to make a commission on them, not to be their funding source, just to be neighborly. And we were talking about how do you monopolize your local market isn't with an intent to profit on your local market. It's to be neighborly. And I thought that was really good how she said that, because we always talk about if you had life jackets and people needed them, wouldn't you throw them the life jacket? Yeah. Or we talk about our passion of starting this business because we know the needs of business owners and we want to be impact makers and difference makers, but it's not getting through to a lot of people that your competitive advantage is not your funding platform because they don't know about that. Your competitive advantage is your local presence, followed by your platform, your Bank Breezy platform. If you're not taking advantage of your local presence and you're trying to just do it on phone calls, I can tell you, McGuire's first month with us, we use him as test. He tests things so that we can train things. He works for corporate, but we have him working as a broker, testing things. His first month, he only called local market businesses, got 3 clients his first month. His next month, we bought 2,000 businesses. I think it was 2,000, maybe been 20,000, spending 50,000 a month, cold called, got 0. Month 2, got 0. Same script, same call, same information, 0 customers said yes. About 1,200 calls. Why do we teach? Don't buy leads. Don't, because we try these things. We test and try. And believe me, I've spent over 100 grand on agencies, lead companies, telemarketing companies to test things. Over 100 grand myself to find ways. And we tell them all, hey, if you can prove this out, we're going to teach all of our brokers. If you can prove this out, we're going to teach our broker. You know what I teach still to this day and only teach? Go to look at our funding training. If you're doing anything that's not in our funding training, we've probably tried it and it doesn't work. So you may call it, like Ed called it, a route versus me calling it local canvas. It's still local canvassing. How you do that is it's local canvassing. Your local, being neighborly is your competitive advantage. Now, being neighborly, if you're confined to a telephone because you can't drive, you can't walk, you don't have a vehicle to get somewhere, you're handicapped based on where you live. There's no businesses in your town because you live in a rural area. You can still do this over the telephone, but you got to take advantage of the local presence. And if it's not local vicinity, it better be local relationally. It better be you can relate with that business for some reason, whether you were an attorney your whole life, so you're calling just attorneys, or you were a dancer your whole life and you're calling dance studios because you love what they do for little girls because of how it impacted your life as a dancer or boys. Or you're a football coach and you're calling nothing but gyms because you love how gyms start and help people be healthy. And you're going to tell them, I got a passion to help people who bring physical fitness to the marketplace. Whatever makes you local to them and neighborly is your competitive advantage. And if you don't start with that, you're at a disadvantage. So warm market number one is always better. Local market number two. You're not going to beat those. Well, Dave, I can make a video and go viral. And hey, if you can get videos to go viral and you're good at it, one of our training things is do social videos because they do work when you get a following, but you get 500 people watch your video, they might not even be business owners, right? So you just don't know, but do them, but don't lead with that. So being neighborly, how can you be neighborly? We're actually going to focus on putting a program into the certification, not certification, but into the LMS of how to live neighborly. But it will be your Chamber of Commerce. I was telling the team today, the Chamber of Commerce, I went to one local BNI meeting as a guest. It turned into one client and one referral. I didn't even join the meeting. I didn't even join. I joined our local Chamber of Commerce. I went to two meetings with my wife when we first got in it 5 years ago. It led to a relationship with the local president of the bank who's referred me to two funded clients, two more that got approved but didn't take the funding. And it got me two more clients. And I only went to two meetings. Now, do I need to go to more meetings? Of course. My focus isn't personal clients in my local town. If it were, I'd be so neighborly. I'd be at every one of those things. And I'm going to be. I'm going to be. And so these are the things that work. You cannot own a Chick-fil-A unless you're neighborly. Do you know what it costs to own a Chick-fil-A, one of the most successful restaurants, and you have Sunday off? You know what it costs you to own that? McDonald's is 500,000, a million, 2 million, whatever they cost. You know what Chick-fil-A is? $5,000. That's it. Less than a cruise for you and your family. But you got to earn it. And one of the things they look for first is, are you neighborly? Will you go to the local football games? Will you go to the local church meetings? Will you help serve that local fundraiser that you're doing? Are you going to show up and be part of it? Are you going to go to community events? Are you going to be at the parade? Are you going to put a booth up at the parade and give away some free chicken sandwiches? Are you going to, if you're not community focused, neighborly, you don't get to own a Chick-fil-A. And if you don't stay community focused and neighborly, you lose your Chick-fil-A. That's their first priority of people they hire or that they give the franchise to for $5,000. Now you're partners, but you're 50-50 for 5 grand. But they know what you're bringing is the local presence. If you guys can bring local presence, do you think for one moment that if you walked in like my wife Marlo when we first met was a pharmaceutical sales rep, and she'd have to take Einstein bagels and donuts and going to doctor's offices, and she'd make her rounds. She made her, what do you call it, Ed? Your rounds, or your whatever, the tour, or whatever you call it, the route. She had her route that she took every day, and she'd go in and she had a different route. And today she's going to these 12 doctors or 4 doctors and saying hi, just stopping in and saying hi and delivering some Einsteins. And then the next day, a different set. And the next day, she's going to the hospital to meet with different doctors in the house. She had her route that she took care of on behalf of that pharmaceutical company. Do you have a route? Do you have a do you if I was at an intersection, I was talking to McGuire, I'm like, I'm looking at this intersection. I don't know any of these businesses. If I just said to myself, I'm gonna walk into every one of these and be neighborly. I didn't call it neighborly, that was Morgan's idea. I'm gonna go in there and just get to know them about their business and refer them clients and just tell them, hey, I just want to get to know you and let you know about our funding platform because we're not just business funding, we're the best. You got banks and you got Bank Breezy. We're the best. Thank you, McGuire, for that. I love that. Simplifies it. And then I just want you to know that, but I want to get to know you more. And then I'm not looking for you to apply today. I just want to get to know you more. And this is, and you know in your head, this is my territory, dude. That you think they're going to answer a text for funding when you get to know them, when you become their funding guy or girl in your community, you've got local presence competitive advantage. You can't get that through a BS text. You can't get that through a BS phone call. You've got it. So how do you monopolize that? And that isn't worried about making a commission on someone. That's worried about making sure that every business in your town knows about the Bank Breezy funding platform. So they're not taken advantage of by one of those predatory people who are going to jack that commission up 20 points. They're going to charge them 20 points. There's lenders out there who will let you charge whatever you want. They give you a wholesale price and then people are jacking it up 15 points, 20 points. Well, yeah, if I go here, I can make 20 points. Yeah, you're charging a 1.6 to the client so you can make your big commission. You're screwing them over. You're not taking advantage of. I mean, you're not taking care of them. And there's people who want to do that. There's people who want to be that, and they're winning in your town. If you go to your local town neighbor, if we're neighborly, if you go to your local town, how many of them do you think already have it in advance? Not through us. I bet 20% of them already have a business funding advance from a telemarketer or a texter, not from a local broker. That doesn't exist. From a phone call that came from New York or Miami, or a text that came from New York or Miami. That's where most of these companies are. And I'm sure most of the owners mean well, but some of their sales team, because I get them all the time, are willing to lie to get a customer. So how do you beat it? You go local. You go local. Go local. Focus on your local and then expand your local by bringing on other brokers who own local. And if you share this message of be neighborly, be community focused, and recruit others who are community focused, no one can touch you. You can imagine every business in your town being recycled. When they renew through you. When they get their next funding, they get it through you. When someone gets their first funding, they get it through you because you've earned it. You're neighborly. Not just because we have the best funding platform, but because you've built a relationship and you've earned that right. And then, yeah, you can make some significant commissions. That is our model. The Chick-fil-A community focused model. It's not their chicken sandwich. It's not that they're closed on Sunday. Those all matter, but it's more that they make an impact in their community. And the proprietor who's running it loves doing that. Do you love being community focused? Do you love being a neighbor? Be a good neighbor. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like a good neighbor, you are there. Right? That's be neighborly. That's the message of today. Let's go to your Q&A. And if you're not doing that today, I said I would check up from my neck up. It's a gut check, not a guilt trip. Gut check to me. I pay for a Chamber of Commerce meeting for Michigan, and I pay every year, and I haven't gone in 2 years. And I pay every year. That's a gut check. Step it up, David. You're not being neighborly to the businesses in your community. You got time. If you got to say no to an 11:30 meeting and have someone else do it, so you can go to that chamber meeting and go once in a while. Take care of the businesses, not just the brokers. Take care of both. And by the way, if you want a cool mug, you can get these stickers. Download the logo, order the stickers, put them on any mug you want. Yeah, we'll have mugs, swag. We're working on all that, but you know, that's not our business. So if you want a cool labeled mug, stickermule.com. I uploaded this. I think I got 10 stickers for 10 bucks. And I got 20 stickers for 10 bucks. And I put them on a bunch of mugs, and now I got a bunch of branded stuff. Take your logo and send it to a hat company. They'll make you a hat. Okay. What do you got question wise? Any questions from anybody? Did y'all put in your chat your answer on the once a week or once a month? Ed's got his hand up. Okay, I forgot Morgan's not with us today, so I will be calling. Go ahead, Ed. If you want to unmute yourself, you able to unmute yourself, Ed? You're still muted. I'm going to look through the chat while you're trying to hit the unmute button. It's the bottom left corner. You'll see audio, and you probably have a line through it.
David, I have been going through the chat and we've got about 6 for once a week and about 10 plus I've had emails, so 13 for once a
Okay, you sound like you have a cold, Mama.
Oh, I did it.
There you go, Ed. Go ahead, Ed.
All right. I love meetings. I know you from comments you made in the past. I know you loved A.L. Williams,
Hmm.
and then I was with A.L. Williams. Well, they did some amazing things with recognition, Dave and Phil. Everybody loves recognition, and very few people get it from anybody. So they did big, yeah, pushing up people.
Art
Exactly.
Williams book, yeah.
Yeah.
Half the book's about recognition. Yep.
I know it. Yeah. So what they did, they had their meetings were exciting because first of all, they were in person, but different era, right? We can't do it anymore, but we can do online meetings, and they love to give people T-shirts, as you may know, and it costs hardly anything, but at least it did then. But they recognize people for the smallest little things. Everybody would come to the meeting and they achieved a certain little goal they had, this one led in the most referrals. This one led in the most whatever. And they got their T-shirt and they heard it and they went up before the crowd there, before like we have a crowd here today. And they walked in front. I walked on the stage. They got their T-shirt and their name was mentioned. They got really excited, right? And they love to come to the meetings and get recognition. And they got recognition though for doing something. That was the whole idea. They did something worthy of recognition. But
Hmm.
it didn't have to be a big, gigantic goal that hardly anybody would get. It was a small thing. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, love it. I appreciate it. And we've got our culture club, we'll call them, meeting once a week to come up with ideas on how to do some recognition and ideas like that. In a virtual world, you can just do shout outs. But there's some other things, I've got pins, we've got cups, we've got other things we've thought about. I ordered a batch of things that we've talked about doing some mailers and sending out some neat things. The certification program will allow us to do some recognition as well. So yeah, definitely recognition for sure. Appreciate it. Cornelius, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, that'd be great. Go ahead. There you are, Cornelius. You're unmuted, but I don't hear you. Is that me or is that you? There you go.
Uh, I okay. You guys can't hear me.
I can hear you.
You can?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, I can't hear you all though. So I'm just gonna talk anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say this and I've been off the bicycle for a while. Of course, David knows that. I got back on and actually got excited. I completed the training because it was just good information. And I wish that would have been available years ago. I'm telling my age, how long I've been hanging around. But I want to say this. One of the things that got me back on the bicycle was I live in Valdosta, Georgia. And I'm when you see businesses opening and then 3 months later they're closing, it it's a reflection on, the town. And every time I would see a business open and one closed, I felt guilty because I said, "My God, man, I could have told that business about this great product, this service that we're offering." And that got me back on the bicycle. That got me fired up. And what's going on in our country? I mean, the small businesses, the small farmers, the medium-sized farmers, and the businesses they need our help. I mean, if the small businesses go, that is the backbone of America. And so we have to be mindful. We have a responsibility. We have a great product. We got a great owner, CEO, and we don't have any competition. And so Cornelius doesn't have an excuse. And so I just wanted to just say that, David, and hopefully, we can be sparked to inspire. I'm just not interested in seeing another business close, because of lack of funding or just relationship.
Love it. Thank you, Cornelius. I appreciate it. I love your heart space. And I wanted to say this, guys. You didn't hear Cornelius complain. I won't share too much, but he's wearing those glasses right now because he has to, and he's nearly blinded from some things. And here he is getting after business, helping businesses, and not complaining about his situation.
Yeah.
He's getting after it and caring about others. And I have chills right now thinking about you, Cornelius. I love how you love to serve people, and I appreciate everything you're doing for. I know you can't hear anything I'm saying, but I appreciate everything you're doing for DAC in your community. All right. Any other questions or comments? I'm looking through the comments online. Harlequin, yeah, you get offers all the way. Digital card is way more effective than paper. It depends. Some people love the drop cards. Some people love brochures. Some people leave them. So it all depends on where you're at, right? But there's no question a digital card. That's why we have replicated websites. You can share the links right away, right? Okay, I don't have any other questions from anybody. I don't see any other. Oh, Harlequin's got her hand up. Go ahead, Harlequin.
Hey, David. You didn't see my comment on the digital cards.
I'm
One
looking
of
at it
the
right now. Yep.
Yeah, one of the challenges that you have with digital cards is that um some people like myself, I have almost 2,300 contacts in my phone, and if I don't remember their name, I can't find them again. And so that can cause problems for some people. So I usually go, and you can have the digital cards available for those people who prefer that, but I would also recommend having I use the Connect cards. I've never had a DAC business card, and I do that because it's larger, so it stands out from the rest of the cards that they receive. And I also go and point out to them, it's like, hey, you may not need me now, but you never know when you might have an emergency situation when you're going to need me. So it's always best to keep a hold of it. And I've literally had people call me back 2 years later and say, I knew I didn't need it then, but I knew I'd need it sometime. And they left it
In a drawer.
pinned on their
Yeah.
bulletin board.
I've heard that many times. In fact, my wife's first customer was that. They put it in their drawer. She said, just throw it in your drawer in case. And one day they opened their drawer and pulled it out. They would never throw it away. I think you're right. Redundancy helps. Have both. Have a digital card and by the way, I created this card myself. Again, you can create your own cards. I created this card myself. I'm going to cover my ID. But on one side, I have simple and fast business funding. And on the other side, I have dual pricing payment processing. So you can turn it into a two-carder if you want. But you're all independent brokers. We create stuff that we think most people want. But we don't have we've had some digital cards we've talked to in the past, but they've all been revenue affiliate models, and so we've just stayed away from it. If you want to get a digital card or print card, do whatever. You're an independent broker, go for it. And but I've already seen and we've heard numerous stories about the drop card. I think that's our best tool next to the replicated site, frankly, based on performance. But good point, Harlequin. Norma has got her hand up. Go ahead, Norma. If you can unmute yourself, Norma. There.
Hi, good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are in the United States. Happy
Amen.
Friday, everyone. Thank you so much. Incredibly helpful training as always, and love always being able to have the opportunity to give feedback. I love how you always ask the community of brokers to see what our thoughts are on things, and I just absolutely love that. Thank you. I also wanted to respond. I was just really quickly sharing because somebody asked about the digital card. I responded that I do. So I'm not trying to persuade anybody to go one way or the other. I agree with you, David, that the Connect cards are also very effective, and definitely agree that having them both is very useful. For myself and my other line of business, I'm a residential and commercial mortgage broker. So it's helpful for me to have the digital card for a number of reasons. So if people have not already tried the digital card, they're asking for recommendations, and I'm not going to recommend a particular one. You guys can do your research and explore and see how this can work for you. But for me, my personal preference is to have a digital card because it does allow me a lot more control. And if you haven't used one, then you really don't know what benefits there are. Like for me, I love eco-friendliness. I love instant delivery and the customization and the interactivity. So when I'm meeting somebody and I'm on the spot, and I have my own techniques, by the way, people, where I like to exchange information and with photos and whatnot. We might take a selfie together to remember each other, right? So I can put a face to a name. And then this way people don't get lost in my phones, and it just kind of creates a friendlier experience, and it's not very like transactional. You get what I'm saying? And people really
Yep.
like that. And if you want to take it a step further and maybe take it to your social media and add them on your social media, I personally am not doing that right now. I'm guilty of not doing that because I could be using that to grow my social media and show like, hey, I had the pleasure of meeting, this wonderful person in this particular business. And it also shows that you are looking to share what type of business that they're in. So it's not all about yourself and you're trying
Right.
to just, again, be transactional. But yeah, you guys, there's a lot of cost effective digital cards out there. There's some free ones. They're easy to store and organize it. Even some have features where it shares where you guys actually met, and it basically creates like a CRM for you, or a place to store all of those contacts. So just check them out, but definitely, like Dave said, have the paper ones available as well, and just find creative ways to take control. If you have paper business cards, I often actually recommend that folks take a picture of the business card in my presence. But again, there's nothing like taking that selfie and sending it to them, and then capturing their phone number and their name so that you guys can maintain contact, and then do a quick follow up. Hey, next week, hey, Jan, how's it going? Just wanted to check in and see how your week is going. Do you have any questions? I'd love to be a resource for you, etc. Whatever your guys' spiel is. Thank you, everybody, so much. Have an amazing day and weekend ahead.
Love it. Hey, great networking suggestions there, all of them. And one of the favorites that someone did with me was what Norman just said. His name's Tom Chenault. Some of you know Tom back from the longevity days. But Longevity used to market the DAC funding product, still does actually through us though. But Tom was one of the leaders, and Tom, everywhere he went, if he met you, he didn't just want to store your number. He'd say, "Here, come on, let's take a selfie," and he would take a selfie with you, and he'd
Yeah.
store you. He would store your name and number in his phone with a picture of you. It was his way of saying, "I want to be able to put a face with a name." But he'd
Mhm.
also send. He would immediately then say, "And I'll send you my information." And he would send you that picture immediately so that you could store that in as well. So that it, what a great, and it, when he did that, first of all, it felt special. It was like he's not just, hey, give me your number. And there was actually an interaction of a selfie together. And it did seem to matter more to him. And I'll never forget that. And I do that a lot now. Take a selfie with, I was looking for some in here that I was going to share, but I thought I probably should check with them before I share their photo on thing. But I think it's a great idea, Norma. Great idea. Very, very good idea.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And I know Apple and some of them have share contact, share contact. That's not the same as a digital card. A digital card does allow a lot more, just like some QR codes. As an example, if you get QR codes, there's free ones. A QR code is that boxy looking thing, this little thing you see on there. QR codes will go to your replicated website that when they scan it, but some QR codes, you can pay a feature, you can pay more, and now you're notified that they went there, where they came from. It tracks more information for you. You can have multiple QR codes so that you could have advertising and say, okay, which QR code did they click on? So you can start doing it from a marketing perspective. And so just like digital business cards can be as simple as hey, share your contact digitally. That's not the benefit of a digital business card. There's a lot more features in a digital business card. Some of them are tracking. It almost like becomes like a landing page where you can start to see where they're coming from. So we don't promote them because we've never picked one that we like or partnered with anyone. And so but I do think there's value there. I would never say use that instead of a paper card though, because if you're going local isn't digital. Local is physical. Local is that little card in your hand. Local is you've met them and you've left them and tell them to leave it. I would just tell them that. Hey, just put that in your drawer in case if and when. Pin it up on your little pegboard right there for if and when. And I'll stop in and see you again in the future and learn more about your business. So again, if you can be neighborly and get to know what is their competitive advantage that you can refer in your town? What is it about your diner here that makes you special so that I can know what I believe and what you believe is best about your business? Just yesterday, I heard of a restaurant in our town. Someone said, "Hey, I moved the burger joint. It's called in Milford. I moved the burger joint down off the top 5 burgers in Oakland County, and I told the owner that, and the owner said, "Hey, have you tried our new Wagyu beef burger?" No, I didn't know you had one. And so he said, I tried that. Now let me just say, I got to find someone in my top 5 to remove because the burger joint just made it a bit back into the top 5. They typed that into our little Milford social post. And guess what happens? The founder of that burger joint finds that out, gets a lot of praise. Other people going, love the burger joint, love it. And that person who put that post up did more to sell burgers. I'm talking about it now. You don't think the owner of burger joints feeling, hey, that guy's neighborly. He spoke highly about my burgers, right? And you can go on your social post. Morgan asked me today, do you guys have a social page for business owners in your town? Because are you commenting and being neighborly, or are you just promoting? Are you just promoting your funding, or are you being neighborly? Are you really trying to be a good neighbor and really trying to help your community? If so, you'll monopolize your marketplace. You will have every business owner, if they need funding, they'll be calling you. They won't look at those texts. They'll look at those texts and go, yeah, whatever. You've got the funding platform, Bank Breezy. You've got the local relationship. You've got the willingness to support them when it's the right fit, not the wrong. You know our team won't hammer close a funding. We're going to present it with a fair commission for you and for us and the best price for them. They won't beat our price. and we'll even tell them if we think it's a bad move. And we have one more story for you. There was a client who applied for funding. I'll end with this. Applied for funding while I was filling in for Wade. Just I wanted to have the conversations. And actually, I see Ed's got his hand up, so I'm going to go Ed to your question or comment, and then I'll end with the story. Go ahead, Ed.
Mute. All
There
right.
you are. You're unmuted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that that the idea on the what was the lady's name? The one that before the last one, she was talking about
Harlequin?
Harlequin. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
about
talking
dropping the
about
card.
she had so many she had so many contacts in her phone she couldn't keep track of them. So I got an idea for that. It works. Put a note in every contact what they're something that you'll know that like that their business type of business they're in, something you'll remember them by. So chances are if you put the same wording, you get a list, put it in the search thing, you get a list of all the contacts you have in that category.
Love it. Love it.
You can put a date. Uh, oh, 07/25 means everybody I met in July of 2025.
Love it.
So
I
it
love the
just
note. I love the note idea. You forget that you can add other things besides just their name. And yeah, great stuff.
helps.
I
That
love it.
helps.
That'll
So I
help.
want to learn more though. I want to get back to the subject later. I want to learn more about the the digital cards. That sounds like a wonderful idea to use that.
Yeah. Check it out. If you do a search and if you want, connect because um I'm just going through. Sorry, I see a few more questions. Connect because there's certainly people who've gone. Norma's used the card program before. She's the one who talked about it. If you want to reach out to Norma or Harlequin, both of them have used. You can find them in our Facebook group, Norma Lopez or Harlequin Murray. Both of them have
Thank
had
you. Very
success.
good. Thanks.
But connect with them there. Cool. All right. Thank you. Okay. So back to my story. Oh, Tyler, go ahead, buddy. You got one more thing for us?
It was just a comment about the LMS.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let everybody know we're now up to date for everybody who's filled out that form. I just did one more wave. I'll do another one later today at the end of the day today. So if you want to get on the beta, go ahead and sign up. Everybody's up to date for now. Check your email.
All right, good. Check your email. That means they've been invited. Doesn't mean they've yet registered, but
Yeah.
they've been invited. And if you don't have that invite, fill out that form that you've got there. But check your inbox from support. What's the subject line on that? Because then they can do a search by the subject line.
Let me check and get back to you.
Okay, yeah, throw it in. I'll be telling the story for a minute because sometimes I have to look by subject line to find it in Google. Google has a habit of moving some of my support stuff, primarily our weekly Funders Fuel email. It moves that into a promotions tab for me. Um, and even though I have support as an important contact, so you may have different folders that Google's moving your emails into. That's why you want to do a search for it. And Tyler, whenever you get that, just chime in. But I'm going to tell a story um, about a client because I was talking about we're different. And there was a client who I was talking to. We presented them with I'll just say a $20,000 offer. If I give too much specifics, it may be the agent or the broker might know, and it may feel like I'm giving private information. But let's just say they got approved for $20,000, and the client told me, I think I shared some of this last week. The client said, "I can't afford to pay it back, but I don't have a choice. I need the 20, or my business is going to close, but I can't pay it back." Well, then it's not the right choice. But my business is going to close. There's another option. And we talked to them about going back to the person who was requiring they give them the money to see if they could give them more time, which they were able to do. But then 2 weeks later, they came back and said, "Okay, I want to take 15. Okay, can you afford to pay it back?" We didn't go, "Cool, done. Let's get them 15 grand." Can you afford to pay it back? Because we don't want to get you $15,000 that's going to bury you and be the final nail in your coffin just to make a commission. You'll default on it. It'll be taken back from us. and it's going to put you in a bad situation and put our lenders would be unhappy that we knew you said you couldn't afford to pay it back and we still sent it through. So what's your plan? Yeah, I've got it all worked out. I got it, but yeah, we can get it paid. Beautiful. Let's get you the 15 grand. So the point behind that is the people on these phones are commission only. Some of our brokers might be commission only. The good news is all of our lenders know that every client goes through our internal team. And our internal team communicates with the clients, and they will not allow a business to mislead. They won't allow a business to stack. They won't allow a business to do the things that hurt lenders. So the brokers who do those type things end up leaving our company. All brokers want Bank Breezy funding platform. They all want it, but not all of them want the conditions that come along with that. We're not going to mark the price up 70 points so you can make a big commission. We've got a standard. You're going to make your commission, sometimes less. Tyler, you got an answer on that subject line?
I do. I also put them in the chat. So the first email is welcome to the DAC LMS beta test. And then the other email is DAC training hyphen activate your account.
Perfect. All right. I don't see it in the chat, but I'm glad it's there. Thank you, boss woman Leandra. I love the integrity. So do we. Okay. And by the way, we love all your integrity. All right. And that's why when you go through the LMS, you're going to see policies and procedures are a good part of the LMS, right? Understanding them. And I'm glad some of you have already completed it. I think we already had, was it 4, Tyler, completed it as of this morning already?
Yeah, 5 actually.
5. Cool.
And they all
5,
signed.
Cornelius was one of them.
Yep.
So great
He
news.
was.
And by the way, Cornelius, did you get a certificate? If you just want to nod up and down, if you got a certificate after you completed it, did you get any certificate on your screen or emailed to you? Yeah. Okay, good. The design of that will improve, but I see you're unmuted. If you want to comment, you did get it? Okay. All right. Well, good. So
Yeah. I'm talking about.
yeah, you're going in and out, buddy. So we'll just move forward. Sorry, my friend. Email number 1, welcome to the DAC LMS beta test. Email to DAC training. So do a search for those if you haven't already gotten it and get yourself in it and completing it. And I'm not going to tell you anymore because we want you to experience it like anyone else. And if you didn't get it, like I see Jerome says, I did not get it, then go ahead and fill out that form. I'd just say fill it out again because Tyler said we've sent it out to everybody who filled out that request for being in the LMS. Now, eventually, we're going to upload every broker. And the way it works is once someone joins in the future, when they join, they're automatically going to get this invitation email that they're in the LMS and set up a password. Right now, we have to manually upload who we want to send it to, but eventually we're going to upload every broker. And then all the new ones will be automatically invited. Where's the form, Jerome saying? Up in the chat, up above, Jerome, that we put the link early up top. Tyler, I don't know if you can repost it.
Yep, I'm going to repost it right now. Give me 1 second.
All right, cool. And it was put in the Facebook page as well. And then it was emailed out to everybody, not the form, but we emailed everyone out the request to be part of the LMS in the last couple of weeks. All right, guys. Hey, you guys have been fantastic. Appreciate all the contributions. And I'm leaning toward what Harlequin recommended right now, which is once a month, 1 day a month, but maybe 2 presentations, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. So we know it's presentation day, but we got an afternoon and an evening. Maybe that's something to do. I'm kind of liking the feel of that. Good idea. But let's keep getting feedback. And if you guys ever have any suggestions for DAC, we know you're on the front lines. Email to support. We read every email, and if it needs to go to me, it goes to me. And we're in culture meetings and corporate meetings weekly, and they bring forward feedback. One of the questions we always ask is feedback from the field. What feedback did we get? What suggestions? What complaints? What do we got to improve? What are we liking? What can we do better? And so you guys are really heard. We really do value your contributions of ideas. And if you've got ideas other than being neighborly to get beyond this from the customer who looks at you or our other brokers who are reaching out as just another texter or telemarketer who's got commission breath trying to make a commission and BSing you into a funding, to not be that. We're always looking for ideas. Test it, prove it, and tell us. All right. God bless you all. You're all